And out comes the returning Ilja Dragunov, who has been gone for 13 months with a torn ACL. Just to put this to tie everything together, this guy has been gone as long as WWE wants Andrade to be on the shelf, unpaid.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So Ilja is out with a right knee brace, and the man's gotten some artwork done. Way? Mm-hmm. Thoughts?
Why are you asking me? Am I the neck tattoo expert?
Well, I thought that this was like some kind of like paint. And then as we got closer, I was like, oh no, he inked himself up on his throat and like chest area. And like from this distance, like this looks like an infection that Aleister Black was warning us about, and we are the mirror.
Right. Yeah, I guess from this distance, it kind of looks like he was shot with a paintball gun.
Like this needs some colors. This needs some definition.
Well, this stuff takes time. Okay, he's been gone for 13 months. Yes, but I mean,
I'm sure in person this looks great close up, but from a distance, which you are performing on, I don't know about this one. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's not done.
It's definitely not done. I mean, something like this. I mean, I imagined he's probably going to get his whole body tatted up, long enough.
He looks like the kind of guy who would do that.
Yeah, I can't really tell what it is. What is this? Like, it must be some dragon thing.
I don't know.
Isn't it? I can't tell. Anyway, I listen. Like,
which kind of answers our question right there about its effectiveness.
Well, when you're a smaller wrestler, which he is, I think like any advantage you can have to make yourself stand out and look somewhat cooler and more intimidating, I think is a good idea. So,
dude, this guy has veins that are like popping out. Like I look at this guy, he's about to have an aneurysm every 2 minutes. I think he's got the look down. I think that's
no, he does.
Let's judge this when it's all done. Like when I got my whole back tattoo done. I mean, it didn't look great at the beginning either.
You're right. You're still working on it, aren't you?
Yeah. I've still got I've still got to get the whole forest done.
Forest?
Yeah.
You like forest that much?
Yeah, I got I got the Narnia map on my back.
Oh,
these two had one prior match in July of last year when Zayn was IC champion, and this was maybe lost in all of what was going on here, digesting the tattoo and everything. Vic just casually notes to Ilja, "Welcome to SmackDown." They got him. They landed him.
If you've been injured for a year, we've been through multiple drafts by the time this guy was able to come back.
Did Raw fire him though with cause? That's the question. Was he allowed to show up on SmackDown?
All questions worth asking. Yes.
So they start off, and Ilja was like back into fine form instantly. He hits this running boot, and he proceeds to scream at the top of his lungs toward the crowd. And I was like, "This is our Ilja who is back." Corey notes that Zayn was able to, quote, weather the early emotional storm from Ilja. Well, just wait. And then this just turned into a hell of a match. They go for, Zayn's got these rolling Germans. Ilja gets out, elbows him to the head. Then Zayn elevates him onto the edge of the apron. And you think he's dropping him for a brain buster, but he drops him shoulder first on the middle rope. Mm. I thought this was like the most genius thing. It looked like the safest thing in the world to take. The crowd reacted like this guy was murdered. And it was like, his shoulder just came down on the rope. I was like, and it looked like this was not like some like mess up. It looked like this was the intended spot. Whoever came up with this seemed like a brilliant idea.
Yeah, I've never seen it before. I thought it was like, I mean, you think he's being spiked on his head, but instead he crashes into the rope. And it looked great, had a great effect. Absolutely.
Great spot. Then they just get into these big chops, headbutts from Ilja. Zayn returns fire, and at this point, this place goes nuts for the striking exchange. And then Ilja hits a power bomb for the first major near fall. Now, does any of that seem like are you drawing a blank on any of this?
What do you mean?
This big power bomb near fall spot, and they're in this crazy like hockey fight with all the strikes, because I realized I was live at this point. This was all during the commercial break that they were wrestling at a goddamn G1 clip like they were in Osaka. It was crazy. This was the most nutty commercial break sequence that I've seen. So we come back from break. Ilja hits a senton, then a superplex, goes for the H-bomb, and Zayn gets his boot up. And they showed this replay, and Ilja just like face plants onto this boot, and I don't know how this man didn't lose his teeth. He just took this full boot to the face. Just insane. Haluva misses, goes for the Constantine special, and then tries for the Torpedo Moscow, which is stopped with a mid-ring Haluva. Crowds chanting holy shit after a Blue Thunder bomb, and then Solo Sikoa walks out, and Zayn is distracted. And I was like, my God, are they going to do Leon Slater and Javon Evans? Is that what we're getting at the end of this? Well, folks, they learned their lesson because they did what they should have done on Sunday at Bound for Glory, because Sikoa just walks to the back and then Ilja catches him with, there's an exploder to Ilja, and then as Zayn goes for the Haluva, he's cut off with a Torpedo Moscow and H-bomb as Ilja wins in 19 minutes and 20 seconds. This is the way you bring a guy back. And then Zayn just stands in the middle, shakes hands with Ilja, and then the MFTs attack all of them. So we basically got the same Dark State attack as Bound for Glory, but all the difference in the world when you do it after the excellent match has concluded. I thought this was one of the best WWE TV matches this whole year. It was amazing.
It really, really fantastic. I'm very surprised by the booking, and I like it. I mean, it puts Dragunov on the map in a big way. I think Zayn ultimately had a really good run as a U.S. champion. I'm curious to see if he rematches and stays on the hunt in the U.S. title scene, or if he moves into a world title contender level.
Well, if Jacob Fatu is out for the rest of the year, they need a new babyface, and Zayn is as ready for that spot as the number 2 babyface on SmackDown as you've got, and he could be very well put into that place as kind of a second to Cody or something involving that.
Well, that was my other question. I mean, was this run cut short because Jacob Fatu was injured, and we need Sami Zayn in that position? And in either case, I mean, Ilja Dragunov being put into this main position, I think is very strong. I hope he continues this open challenge gimmick, because a weekly feature of a Ilja Dragunov match, I think, promises to deliver on, at the very least, a similar level of quality as a Sami Zayn weekly challenge. And they did mention that
God knows there won't be anything else going on for this guy. Like, just get him out there and wrestle every week. That's probably your best bet.
They also mentioned that Shinsuke Nakamura is still owed a U.S. title rematch, so you can expect that match on the horizon, or maybe some sort of 3-way, involving Sami Zayn as well. So.
On the Post Wrestling Cafe this month, John Pollock and Wei Ting sit down for a new edition of Talk. We are also going back to 1992 to look at the G1 climax from that year. Rich Vann and WH Park are getting together to review Peacemaker Season 2 and look at Marvel Zombies. Plus, we have Book Club detailing Kamala Harris's new release, 107 Days, weekly editions of Collision Course, and the XL versions of Rewind to Raw, Dynamite, and SmackDown. All can be found at postwrestlingcafe.com.